Welcome, everybody, to Choey and Jandler's The Fun Time Super Terrific Happy Hour. Welcome, Choey.
Welcome, Chandler. Oh, mine didn't really make the noise.
Man, mine kind of got stuck.
Mine was like all silly. It was all poot, a little poot.
You sure you got to do it by yourself? You're like, I'll add the sound effects here.
So, like, is your phone breaking up over there? Is that what's happening right now?
Dude, you know it's almost Veterans Day, man. So I forget.
Oh, hey,
Do you guys get Veterans Day off?
I don't even know. I mean, I got tomorrow off. The Friday.
Well, Veterans Day. No, Veterans Day is Saturday, but I mean, like, yeah, if y'all were to get it off, you would observe it tomorrow. But obviously not.
I don't know.
You sound like you were gonna say something.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know that she's a vet, so I'm gonna feel bad if I don't. Like if she isn't, but former police chief of Natalia, Chief Naff, I want to give like a shout out because I was talking with her the other day for like our election stuff that was like on Tuesday.
Voting day stuff.
Yeah, she happened to be at the polls, and so I kind of was catching up with her. She used to work at Natalia. She's doing something now. But she would tell me, hey, like, you know, she like every time she's like cleaning around the house, like she pops this on. So I figured I'll give her a shout out.
What? How'd you hear about? You told her about us originally? That's cool.
Like when we first
nice.
She remembered.
Wait, so where's your bleep button there, man? now you gotta make me work.
But then she was like, yeah, it's been over a year that y'all had it going. And so I was like, oh dang, tell them the truth.
We got the law on our side.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
But we don't have to bleep nothing anymore. Come forth and see what happens.
I'm still bleeping out. It's a family show here. All right. So our November 10th holidays. Did you know it's Sesame Street Day? Isn't that amazing? That show's been out for so long. I was talking to a friend of mine a couple of weeks ago, actually probably maybe almost a month ago. He was talking about influential TV shows, right?
Yeah.
And he said like he said in Law and Order and MASH. I think we're like just two that kind of popped up, and he brought it up, and I was just kind of like I caught off guard. Like I really didn't know how to respond. But when I talked to him like a week later, I was like, I started thinking about what you said, and I was like, to me, if I had to pick two influential shows, I think I would pick SportsCenter and Sesame Street because like SportsCenter like changed the landscape of sports, and Sesame Street is like I think that show's been going on since the 70s, right? Like it's still out there.
Okay, so
when you talk educational program, huh?
Your definition of this thing of like influential shows isn't like
something that's changed like culture.
Gotcha. I thought you meant like personally. Like I was like, oh.
So. Well, I do love Sesame. You don't love Sesame Street? I mean, I love Sesame Street.
But I was thinking like I thought like you meant like he said like Law and Order and MASH were like his things. And then
I think he didn't explain the whole MASH thing, but I'm guessing his Law and Order take was Law and Order lasted so long, led to so many spinoffs that kind of lasted long too, and goes with that whole like it kind of changed the whole cop type show because like it's cops and lawyers side, but I mean I just was looking at shows that it kind of stood out there a long time when we did it. And like I say, Sesame Street, man, we show video clips of that all the time in class, Like we do class meetings, and a lot of times we have Sesame Street videos for character traits like honesty and, perseverance and things like that, right? So that's why I was like, it was a TV show. Well, it still is a TV show for entertainment, but it's got a lot of educational purpose to it, So I was like, it's kind of amazing it's still going on. And it's also National Vanilla Cupcake Day. So not just any cupcake, vanilla cupcake. So they want you to make sure you don't think that vanilla just means boring, It does mean delicious sometimes.
It makes me want to I don't know.
Good take there. Good take there, Choey.
Cupcake Day? I don't know.
It's special. It's special. It's vanilla cupcake.
Like the Barbados accent. I'm gonna constantly go back and circle to it, but I'm never gonna go actually come through on it.
You're lost. You're like, I don't know what to say. This is something that I know I deal with. I don't think you do with like high school. They don't bring birthday treats to school, right? I know I've asked you and I forget. Kids don't do that, right?
Every once in a while, somebody will be like, "I want to bring pizza for my kid's birthday." Whatever.
All right, well, okay, pizza. It makes kind of more sense. We got younger kids. Most of the time, it's little cupcakes, right? Mm-hmm. And they'll get 2 packs usually, like 12 in one pack, 12 in another. And out of those 12, 6 will be the chocolate cake or like the dark chocolate cake, whatever, is brown.
Yeah.
And then the other 6 will be like white cake or whatever, right?
Yeah.
And it's funny. Kids are like they almost all want the dark one. I like the light cake. That's just me. But it's amazing how someone will grab like, no, I don't want that one. I don't want and they'll be trying to tell someone, no, I want the dark one. I want the dark one. And I have to be like, there's only so many guys. It's like somebody's gonna have to eat it.
You know what they say though, man? Like once you go chocolate, you never go back.
So that kind of show, Choey.
All right. Or is it?
Or is it? we have been recording a lot later now, so I see you're like the sun's down. Of course, the sun goes down at 4:30 now.
I know, like you wake up in the morning and like 2 hours later, you're like, bye, son. See you tomorrow.
I had friends on Facebook posted, and it reminds me too. When I used to live up north, dude, up there, like in Illinois, it'd be dark by like a little after 4. And like there are times like there's people that put on their Facebook, like they go to work, it's dark, they come home, it's dark. And I was like, yeah, I've been there.
That'd be kind of interesting.
Yeah, and actually, it is. That's why I SAD. Like I think it's like seasonal depression that goes on. And I didn't realize. I thought I told you this. Maybe I didn't. I didn't realize when I lived up there, and I first moved back, because it's like it snows and it's cold a lot up north.
Yeah.
But it's a lot of gray skies, right? Just like, and not only does it get darker, it's just a lot of when the sun's out, you're like, man, it's so gloomy. And then I come down here, and not only is it hot, it's like the sun's just almost always out. Obviously not today, but a lot of times. Well, it is technically, but it's just a wind bright.
I think you kind of stumbled on an idea, man. We could eventually break off like a spin-off here of the Fun Time Super Terrific Happy Hour after dark.
After dark. And then we have to have two sessions, huh?
No bleeps.
No bleeps. No bleeps in this mother. You're like, it's past my bedtime. Yeah.
every episode lasts like 10 extra minutes because I think sorry, passed out. Sorry, my
bad. Yeah. You just wake up. All right, moving on to some headlines. This first point here is something I know you've talked about. I kind of talked about it too. Well, a little bit different. Like in your new role, you got a lot more downtime, right? Like you're not constantly on the go. Whereas I, as a classroom teacher, dude, I'm lucky if I get seconds to sit down. I feel like and just kind of rest and recharge.
Yeah.
So I've often wondered, because I'm always on the go, if I were to ever get like a regular 8-hour job, like how I would handle it. I almost feel like I'd be like doing all my stuff in like the first hour and then being like, what do I do? Because I'm just so used to not sitting still. But isn't that what you're going through now anyway? Like you're used to not sitting still.
Yeah. So I'm like, I get excited when I'm like, I get to go to a meeting now. And I like do like a little heel click and leave my office as opposed to sit there. But I feel like our buddy Chandler Bing, like the weenus is blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And I'm like writing computer reports and doing Google stuff.
That's crazy, because I thought of the weenus the other day too. Like the friend's weenus, just so we know. People aren't like, oh. No, I was just like, I thought about the. And you're the only person that I could think of. I was like, I bet if I send Choey that text, he'd probably be like, I know that weenus.
Yes, it's the summary report on some Friends episode. Everybody.
Yeah, the weekly estimated numbers usage system or something like that.
Yeah. They're like, they know weenus. They talk a lot about weenus. Weeneye.
Yeah, weeneye. That's a good plural word there. So, hey, Tuesday, voting day. Was that professional development day for you guys or what?
No.
Okay, so y'all went to polling center?
No.
Are you?
Okay. There's like one in the city, and it's like at the church down the street.
Oh, okay. Because we were, And and so the last couple of years, what they've been doing is kids get the day off, and we're there, right?
Yeah.
And it was a professional development day, and I mean, so I got in here. It's like, to me, a lot of times we're doing trainings. It didn't happen this week, but that I just think are unnecessary. Are just kind of like common sense, you know. Um, and I put it here, like some of my notes. Like we had one training one time about sexual harassment. Well, not sexual harassment. It was being inappropriate with students, right? And I'm just kind of like, do you really have to tell somebody not to text kids? I just feel like that's something we should know, right?
But you realize that they have training specifically for that.
Yeah, and people
you
still do it, right?
That come out where the so and so was caught in an inappropriate relationship with a kid, and you're like, did you miss that training? Did you
I
not
like
do you not go to a bar after 9 o'clock in order to find somebody close to your age? Like you have to find somebody at school. What's wrong with you?
oh, but I really like I watched that video and I was like, man, I'd be uncomfortable if I was like the teacher acting in that video, you know? You know what video I used to love watching, and we haven't had to watch it, like the star video, the star testing, because it was just so comical to me. You remember the stuff?
The guy reading the paper.
Yeah.
Like, make sure to actively monitor. Don't just take your eyes chilling. And it's like, but you know,
But there was one like they say like don't talk about the test, and they're like there's two teachers talking in like the break room, and this other teacher, and she's like, oh, like just her expression when she like overhears them. I just always would die laughing. But again, a lot of to me a lot of trainings are either unnecessary or like if I do stuff on like you do this stuff online, and I just use a lot of buzzwords like when I have to write things, but it's always a waste of time. But I'm just like, hey, you still want a couple words there, and they'll be like, yeah, he heard it, he listened to it. But dude, now I'm doing Mac GT. Remember I complained last year about the science of reading?
Yeah.
I'm doing this Mac GT train because they didn't. I could have started in the summer, but they didn't tell me until August. I think there's like 3 different things I got to do. But on the first one, there's only 4 modules. I think there's only 4 or 5 modules, but each module has like 6 sections, or sorry, like about 6 parts, and each part has like 5 or 6 sections. And I'm like, and you delve into each one, right? And then each one, they either want some kind of open response thing, or they want, or I have to take a quiz. And I'm just like, oh my gosh, guys, it's like I get it if you want to make me do one quiz at the end, but like basically I have to do like 30 quizzes just to complete this thing. And I'm like, how much time do you think I have? The GT teacher hit me up this week, and she's like, you got to get that finished by like I think before January 1st or something. And I was just like, I'm trying, but I was like, that thing is so intense.
Are you doing it through the Region Service Center?
It's on our Schoology, so it might be. Okay. It's just a course on the Schoology. The videos are short, man, and I'm actually learning from the video. Like I get how, in my mind, I guess they're trying to get some kind of accountability, but they're overkilling it. It's like it's one thing to make me do a response here and there, take a quiz here and there, but like every single time I got to do something, I'm just like, man. Like, and then I try and work on it as I'm doing other stuff, and you can't do that because if you're not paying attention, then you're like, I don't know what this quiz is asking me about, But I've learned I've learned about 2 or 3 cool games, like math type thinking games for the kids that they love doing, and I play with a couple of kids. Like, well, that sounds bad, but I play it with them at the table, and I'm trying to make it so I can put it in the stations.
So fun story to go along with that. I'm now the GT coordinator for the district, so I'm putting people through the same kind of stuff, except it's to the region, like because they're all asynchronous stuff. So if you haven't done your 30 hours, they're having to do all 5 trainings, and I'm like, hey, you go hop in and do it.
Yeah, well,
so I'm the one doing the same stuff to like teachers, just like you're getting done to you.
But so yeah, that's what's going on with the training, man. And I don't know about how. I mean, you got a lot of new stuff going on this year, so I think everything's just different for you.
Yeah.
I know for me, man, I can't catch up. There's so much extra. Like I got 2 new teachers, so I'm having to do a little bit extra to kind of help them get prepared.
Yeah.
And then, like I said, then I do trainings like this, and it's just like, man, like last time when we had the Indigenous Peoples Day, it was a half day planning, and then the other half was like, hey, it's your day, right? I was hoping voting day was going to be kind of like that. Hey, in the morning, okay, we do professional development, but after lunch, let us go do our stuff, like put in data, right, or like grade papers, put in grades, things like that. But no, they don't do that. And so this weekend, I got to be working my off just to get stuff done because progress reports go out next week. So, hey, but we're gonna do our field trip this year before Star Wars Day, so we're gonna get it done in early December, well, mid-December, right before break. So happy about that. I'll just get it out of the way, man, and we'll go to the museum, and hopefully there's not a lot of people there. So, what are you pointing out at?
I'm curious what these next couple of things go, where these next are going.
All right, so obviously you and I played football together, right?
Yeah.
Remember, it's 2-a-day time in Texas. Remember that phrase?
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just thought it was like it's conference time in Texas, and so I thought of football when I thought of that. Obviously, like you, and then like, man, conferences are such a chore to like get scheduled, and you'll schedule them, and then sometimes parents don't show up. Like I had one scheduled one day a few weeks ago, and they didn't show up, and then they messaged me when I got home. They're like, "I thought you were gonna call me," and I was like, "I thought it was an in-person conference."
Here, it said in person. You checked.
Yeah, I was like, so I like apologized even though I didn't do anything wrong. I was like, I'm sorry, and it was a Thursday, and so I just like, you know what, I'll just call you real quick Friday, and so like we had a, because like she apparently didn't want to come in, but the and every teacher I know is probably gonna nod their head when they hear this. When you do conferences, it's the kids that are doing really really well or behave really really well. Those are the ones that parents are always like, yeah, let's get it done, right? But the kids that are struggling and stuff, or the kids that are kind of your challenges in terms of behavior management and stuff, those are the ones you're always like chasing them down, and you'll get something scheduled and they don't show, or you can't get a hold of them, and then you're just like, man, and you keep hitting them up, Like I got one that the mom called the principal today talking about something, but then was like, I've been trying to get a conference scheduled, and Mr. Bing isn't setting it up or something. And the principal talked to me, and I was like, no, I've never been able to get a hold of her. I was like, I've never turned her down. I bend over back. Well, again, that sounds bad too, but I bend over backwards. Like I do anything to jump through hoops to help these parents out. Like I'll come in early, I'll stay late, I'll do it over the phone. The only days I can't do it usually are Monday, Tuesday, because we always plan, man. There's always some kind of meeting going on. But I was like, no. So I called her back, and we're gonna have a quick one tomorrow. Hopefully it won't be too long.
I would say like the fun ones are the ones that are like where you get a hold like the mom or the dad, and they're like, "Oh, I'll tell." So yeah, dad's the one that goes to those. I'll tell him, and then you never hear from them again.
Yeah,
like, I'll see you, and then come the time that you're like they don't show up, and you can't get a hold of them for like another 2 weeks. Oh no, I don't remember they were supposed to do that.
I love the phone call, the phones that you call, or the numbers you dial, and they go to voicemail, and then they'll be like, voicemail is full. You can't leave. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. I was like, because I get, they're probably, if they're anything like me, I don't answer phone numbers I don't recognize a lot of times, So they don't recognize the school number. I get why they probably don't want to answer it, but you can't even leave them a message. Then you're just like, oh, well, now what do I do? But
it's just a small gratification that I would get because nothing else is going to happen with it. But what I would always like is those parents that were like that, and they finally get a hold of you and like, I was upset about it. I called. You didn't leave a voicemail. I'm like, because the mailbox was full.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, yeah. I just my messages, and I'm like, that's why I didn't do it.
Well, so then I'd be like, what's the point if I had left a message? You wouldn't have heard it.
Yeah. But you're like, waste of time.
All right. This last bit here, though, obviously you were laughing at it too, man. Again, I think I've established I teach second graders. And they got like last year I used to have this one student. She was a great student, but she'd always be like digging in her nose. But I got some kids now, like they don't even realize. Like it's just like there was a kid last week. I forget it was math or reading I was working on. I was like, dude had a huge booger in his nose, and I'm like looking. I was like, I didn't want to look at him, And if I was like, dude, go get tissue, because it's like in my head, I'm like, it's hard focusing on you trying to talk to you because it's just hanging right there.
You're worried. Where's that thing gonna go? Where's that?
Yeah. I don't want it to fall on my desk or whatever, you know?
You're like, go wipe that somewhere else so it doesn't get right here, please.
Hey, last thing here. This popped in. I didn't write it on here. We had an episode, I think it was a couple weeks ago, when I talked about how he had dogs on campus. You remember that?
Yeah.
Those same 2 dogs came back today. We were lined up from recess going to lunch, and we have our playground. We have like this bus loop where there's a closed gate in the back, and then we have a courtyard, right? And so the dogs, you got all these kids here. They're always like, dogs, and they're trying to, like, you know, they're all happy. They're not scared, right? They're wanting to pet them, and the dogs are friendly, but I think the dogs have ticks or whatever. Yeah. So you're as the adult, you're trying to be like, hey, stop, get away from the dog, and the kids obviously they're like, oh, doggy, and so I was like. We had just started lining up, and so I had to kind of be like, let's go. Like, I was just trying to kind of yell at the kids to go, and the other teachers were helping, and we just kind of ushered the kids into the courtyard, and I kind of stood in between because I didn't want the dogs to get into the courtyard, right? Because then I figured if they get in the courtyard, it's gonna be really hard to keep them out of school. Because once somebody opens the door, if they're not paying attention, dogs in. And so I kind of closed the playground gate and kind of twisted one of our chains around it. And then I was trying to text the teachers because 3rd grade comes out to recess after us. And the only 3rd grade teacher's phone number I had is the one guy who doesn't check his phone during the school day. so that everybody comes out, and I'm like, yeah, there's those dogs are back, and they're locked in the playground right now. And they're like, what? And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, guys. I called the office, but, you know. I'm going to guess they got them out. I don't know because they didn't seem like they were there at the end of the day.
I remember we had to bring kids in early from recess one time because dogs were being friendly with each other on the playground.
Oh, science class.
Yeah, so it was like when I was like, my bad. Let's get you all inside real quick, guys. Sorry, recess is over a few minutes early.
Was that elementary?
Yeah.
That was in your sub days or your PE days?
Actually, when I was an admin.
Here's
an admin.
Okay.
I had to pull them in a little bit. We were like, all right, sorry, guys. Some people are enjoying themselves a little too much on the playground.
You're like, speaking of enjoyment, let's take a break. Right?
And with that, we'll go to a break.
Yeah, we'll go to a quick break. We'll be right back.
Toast around the world. Yeah.
All right, Choey. Yeah, we're back for. Is this your favorite time?
Sometimes.
It's a good time. When we get the accents down, then it'll really be good. Actually, for me, I love the toast around the world. I love it even more if we, I don't know, triple, quintuple it, whatever. Like when we start getting all these countries, like either more countries, the better, right? So.
Especially if like once we take it like years from now, we take it like visual to where we do like video recordings and we can dress up like them.
Yeah, I'm sure they'll love that. You know, it's just summer break. We're summer vacationing.
Switching off hats and stuff.
Yeah. And it should summer break in Australia when it's their winter, you know. And then learn how the southern hemisphere lives.
Dress up with like lederhosen and stuff like that for Germany.
If we wear lederhosen in Australia, they might look at us like we're a little weird.
Yeah.
All right, man. So like we always do, we say our toast, take a couple sips afterwards. All right, man. All right, what do we say in Germany, sir?
Prost.
South Korea?
Gunbei.
Brazil?
Saude.
England?
Cheers, mate.
Australia?
Cheers, mate.
Cheers, mate again. Barbados?
Cheers.
I'll be a little proper today. French Canada?
Oh,
Sunday. And then regular Canada, cheers, you hoser. And then Colombia,
Salud.
Philippines,
Tage.
and then Norway.
Gal. So
I think it's Skull or Skull.
I never think about, but now I do. The cheers, you effing hoser. Is that
Canada hates us?
Like, is it really like cheers, you effing hoser, or are you just like really like, hey, you know what? I'm just gonna roll on with that.
Well, there's some people that say cheers, right? And like I said, the proper way is Sante or Ata Sante, but I added the F and hoser because that's what you always hear about with Canada.
Okay. I was just curious. I'm like, is it really like that whole thing? Like,
this is not episode 11. This is episode 12. Huh. Things you learn. All right. So it's been a while.
Tell me what episode it is.
Yeah. So it's been a while since we did this type of segment. So we're gonna do Ask a Principal. Okay. So I actually got 2 questions, and I'm not gonna share this because I want to keep them a little surprise for you. Okay. All right. First question, sir. One is a joke, by the way. What is the correct way to break up a fight? Like, what should teachers do? I tend to kind of get in between because I don't want somebody else to get hurt. But I've been told that that's probably not smart because I could get hurt.
Is this the joke one?
No, this is not the joke one.
You're like, I don't know what the punchline is on this one.
Yeah.
Shoot. Like, so I mean, I don't know. I've heard it either way. Because the reality of the situation, man, is if a kid hits like an employee, then that's like assault on like technically it's an assault on a public official.
Especially for you because they're older kids.
And so like you get in a lot of trouble. Like it's one of those things that I just tell teachers like, hey man, I don't want you to hop in there. Like if you choose to do so, please do so in a manner where you're not just hopping in the middle and taking hits and kicks.
I can't remember if I told you this, but one day I was subbing in Illinois. I think it was 8th grade, and they had a lockdown drill, right? And in the midst of the lockdown drill, 2 boys start going at it, and they're throwing punches. And they had those kind of, you have some desks sometimes that have like the leg, you just have your chair with the table or desk part attached to it, right? And sometimes you may have a extra leg or so under that table to kind of balance it. And I remember like us in school, we didn't have that leg, and so it's easy to tip over, right?
Yeah.
They had those kind of desks. And so they're wailing, stuff, all sorts of stuff falling on the ground. It's loud. And I'm kind of in between them just trying to stop them from punching. I'm like, guys, we're in a lockdown drill. I was like, we should not even, like, you're just creating so much. I was like, I need y'all to stop. And then I remember, like, I was subbing, so I didn't know anybody. I obviously had to write them up. But I remember the principal came and talked to me and was just kind of like, you shouldn't have been in the middle of it. What if you got hurt? And I'm like, what am I supposed to do, man? It's like, I get what you're saying, but like, what am I supposed to do? Just let him keep going at it?
Outside.
I was just like, I tried to say, like, if this had been real, like, I'm not going to just let them keep, well, obviously, you don't want to let them keep fighting anyway, but I'm just like, oh my gosh. So, now, I mean, there was another day, too. It was down here. One year, I had a kid. He had BMC support, but he'd get upset. And one time he had a stool and he was kind of swinging it around. And I didn't grab the stool, but I had my hand on it to kind of control it because I didn't want him hitting anybody. And I evacuated the room. And my AP comes down there and he told me later, like, you shouldn't have grabbed it. And I was like, I'm controlling. I didn't want to get hit. I was like, it's not like I'm wrestling, not like I'm tug of warring it with him. But I was like, I'm just kind of controlling it. So, but I've talked to people like you that are like, they said that I did nothing wrong. And then I guess it just all depends. But
well, yeah, because they're worried about like having to do like all this extra paperwork. Because if you get hurt, then I gotta send you to the clinic to get checked out. I gotta do paperwork and all this other junk.
Right. You ready for the joke question of Ask a Principal?
Sure.
All right. Do you think, sir, that teachers should invest in liquor companies, like in stock?
That or beer.
Put your money where your mouth is, right, teachers?
Heck yeah.
Like, I expected a little more from you besides yes. Like, good answer. Yes.
Well, I'm like, yeah, because like come like any night of the week when I was waiting tables, like you could tell who the teachers were because they come in at happy hour and hang out right until the end of happy hour chilling, and you walk by and they're always talking about some sort of like grading or with this period or that period. So you're like, oh, okay. They're not.
I was watching something. I watched that Nate Bargatze that Saturday, the Washington Dream thing so many, like every day pretty much since you showed it to me, and I actually shared it with teachers on Tuesday and we were watching it. So I started watching some more stand-ups. He's got new stuff on Prime, by the way. I don't know if you got Prime. He's got some new stuff out. And I watched one, but it's good stuff. But I watched some more skits on Saturday Night Live. But anyway, somehow it led to like comedians talking about teachers. And I was like, let me give it a whirl, right? By the way, nothing that I found funny and nothing that made us look good at all, right? But I was just like, what? Um, but yeah, they were talking about teachers and things like this, oh, they said that one guy said he's like, I was hanging out with a teacher friend of mine, and it was a weekday, and we were out partying, and this is New York City, and he's like, don't you have to teach tomorrow? And she's like, I'll just show a video. And he's like, that's why teachers show movies? And I was like, hey, maybe back in the day, I don't show a movie now. We show video clips, We don't get to show movies, but making us look bad. Thanks a lot, New York.
Did you see Bargatze at SNL when they were on the plane skit?
Yeah, I like that. When they booed that teacher, I didn't like that. But I liked everything else about that skit.
I know. I was like, hey. Not nice.
Yeah, because that lady's like, I'm a mom, and everyone clapped, and he's like, all right, so now how about some real stuff, something that really counts. Something that you get paid for. Yeah. No, that was pretty good too. I like the so he had some good stuff, man. I like his monologue was pretty good too.
So. Oh yeah. He's like, history. I don't know history. Pearl Harbor. I was like, what's gonna happen next?
And we're just promoting Nate Bargatze left and right? Saturday Night Live, like boom,
tens of viewers.
Exactly. Yeah, we're helping them out. We're putting them over the hill. All right, and the last thing I'm gonna end with is a little Sesame Street type word of the day. It's been a while since we did a word of the day, so I put on here legacy students, right? Now I define legacy student, and I think once I define it, you'll be like, yeah, I know what you're talking about. It's like the kid where you had like their siblings, but it's not like the kind of kid where you're happy you have their brother or sister, but you're kind of like, oh, I remember your sibling. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You don't necessarily have the fondest of memories with that student, but you're like, you know what I'm talking about? Have you ever experienced that?
I had this one girl, and she was just out of control. And it was from 6th grade, 7th grade, 8th grade. And then come 8th grade, I'm like, sweet, it's going to be the last year. And guess who had a sister in 6th grade? My mom. And guess whose sister was worse? I'm like, dude. Like, I got 3 more years of you.
And sometimes you feel bad, like I know I felt bad for my sister, and you got some of those kids that are like, maybe their sibling, the first sibling they had is like, just immaculate, like perfect role model. You know what I mean? Like maybe they're not super smart, or they try really hard. They are, they get everything. I'm not saying they necessarily have to be like a genius, but you're like, they're always on topic, on task. You never have to worry about just trusting them or anything. And then you get their sibling, and you're thinking, oh, I know your sister, I know your brother, and then you realize, oh my gosh, you're nothing like this person. Like, how are y'all related?
Yeah.
But no, the ones that tend to be like the handful that I've experienced, when you run into a brother or sister of theirs, you're like, oh my gosh, you're just as much or worse, like you said. It's never like, no, you're the awesome one,
For my 2 brothers going through high school, like I'd say our freshman and sophomore teachers they'd have been fine with it, but like our junior, senior teachers, when the youngest one especially came through, they were like, you're his brother? And I was like, he was like, yeah, why are you saying it like that though? And they were like,
you know Choey?
Yeah, pretty much like, okay, pop our necks, let's get ready.
Hey, your problem in high school that I remember is just that you didn't always show up to class. Other than that, like,
I was
like you were like, other than that, I don't think you were like a hot mess or anything.
You're right. I would skip a lot.
Well, senior year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Remember our senior skip day where we went to UTSA for like 15 minutes?
Yeah.
So can you sign this paper? And then we spent the rest of the day goofing off in San Antonio.
That was every college visit day that I had. I just went to UTSA and got like something signed off.
I think we were the only ones that day that were allowed to do it because we had already had it like pre-planned. And after that, like nobody got to do college days anymore because I think a lot of people were doing what we were doing. They were just being silly. And so high school was like, nope, not gonna let anybody go. So we ruined it for everybody. Just remember that.
Good. The lasting legacy right there.
All right, dude, you want to hit the social media as we wrap it up?
Alrighty, I'll wrap it up on National Vanilla Cupcake Day.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so check us out on X, Facebook, Threads, Snapchat, Instagram at Choey and Jan, CHOEY.
Oh, you always forget TikTok. It's been a while on that too.
You're right. I always forget TikTok. CHOEY, the letter NJAN. It's my bad too. There's just so many social medias. I feel old.
Yeah, I know. It's my bad too. As I haven't. I'm a little behind on the YouTube. I keep saying that, and I'm gonna get it this weekend. Dude, this weekend is pretty much it's a work weekend. You know, a lot of grading to do, progress report comments to do, and then like I'll be working on put out YouTube thing isn't that hard. And then one more weekend, it's Thanksgiving break. So, and then right there, we gotta do some holiday episodes though. I don't know, drinking hot cocoa or something.
I think what to do do some in-person recordings, knock out a few episodes over the break.
All right, dude. We'll hit you up or hit you back later. Enjoy your day off tomorrow, right?
Sounds good, sir.
All right, man. Peace.
Later.